I have to, unfortunately, people, I have to cover this one. Okay. Um, so as everybody knows, I'm the Pope of the seculars. I am the leader of all seculars. I am the one who determines the rules of the seculars, and all seculars go through me to the heavenly secular father. Okay, that's just if you weren't aware yet, I'm sorry to break the news to you, but that's just the truth. But my fellow other popes out there, like this one, the Pope of the religious, particularly the Catholics, I think, but I don't know, maybe other people look up to him as well. Um, Apparently there's a little bit he might be in a little bit of hot water, and I'm pretty sure this is one of our homegrown popes, right? Like, this is an American pope, if I remember correctly. He's from Chicago, driving his cars, and I don't know what else do Chicago, drinking some pop. So he's out there, and everybody thought they were going to be so happy with an American pope, but guys, it turns out this pope is actually woke. Yet again, we got another woke pope. I don't know how it keeps happening, but apparently this pope is not a fan of war. Now, I know that's surprising to a lot of my hogs out there, right? Because the pope, he's the king of the religious figures, and we use religion as a tool to wage unjust and immoral wars all the time. And so this must be very confusing to have a religious figure go out there and say that war is bad, right? This is very confusing to Americans and their what I consider blasphemous version of Christianity that they all worship. But hey, I'm Pope of the seculars. What do I know, right? Anyway, let's go ahead and watch this video. This is the Pope, the Chicago Pope himself. God won't listen to war leaders. Pope's blunt message on Iran war by DW News. I don't know anything about DW News, really, so let's see what he had to say.
As the war with Iran enters its second month, Pope Leo has issued a blunt warning to world leaders. At Palm Sunday Mass in the Vatican, he said God rejects the prayers of those who wage war. The comment comes as leaders on all sides of the Iran war.
So do I. Just for all you seculars out there, okay? I also reject the prayers of those who wage wars. I will not secularly answer your prayers if your prayers are to wage war, okay? Just so you know.
Or are invoking religion to justify their actions in the Middle East.
God rejects the prayers of those who wage war. The message of Pope Leo's Palm Sunday Mass was unusually forceful.
Fratelli,
brothers and sisters, this is our God, Jesus, King
Hey, why is he talking in this, like Italian or whatever? Shouldn't he be talking in English? I thought that was the whole point of having an American pope out there.
Peace, who rejects war, who no one can use to justify war. He does not listen to the prayers of those who wage war, but rejects them, saying, even though you make many prayers, I will not listen.
I kind of went over this before, or yesterday, but Hegseth is one of the guys that I think he's talking to directly, because Hegseth invokes Christianity like to wage his war crimes at like an absurd degree, to the point that okay, let's be honest, Christianity, including the Pope in particular, have been used to justify atrocities for ages, for centuries, for millennia. One particular instance that comes to mind is when Christopher Columbus found the indigenous people of America, right? And he went back to the Pope and he asked the Pope, hey, we found this place, but there's already these people here, but the Bible says it's wrong to kill or whatever. So like, what should we do? And the Pope literally told him like, no, actually, it's fine because they're not really like real humans. They're kind of like, a different species or whatever. Like, that's basically what he said. I mean, obviously I'm paraphrasing. So it's fine according to God is what that Pope said. So this isn't some abnormal thing for religion to be used to justify mass atrocities and violence. I would say that most modern popes have been, I guess, okay, technically anti-warness has been a pretty big part of like the papacy or whatever for a long time. And like some of these things are like you know, but like it doesn't change the fact that like there's still instances where they allowed it, obviously with like the crusades and shit too, right? Like where they allowed it to be used for violence, like even the popes themselves. But especially in modern times, the pope has been largely anti-war. And so this should not be surprising to fucking anyone, but I am sure that if there are any like American Catholics out there, that they are so fucking pissed off right now because they thought they were done with all that woke shit that they had with the last pope. And they thought that they were going to be able to use their religion to justify whatever, you know, atrocities and sins that they wanted to commit. Like they thought they were going to basically be able to get off scot-free. And I'm sure that they are all very, very upset right now. But let's keep going. I don't know everything that he said yet.
Hands are full of blood.
Le vostre mani grondano sangue.
Leaders on all sides of the Iran war have used religion to justify their actions, with some US officials invoking Christian language in support of military action.
Hell, it's all this time, baby.
May the Lord grant unyielding strength and refuge to our warriors, unbreakable protection to them and our homeland. And
I know that I don't speak for the religious, so I can't say for certain, but from what I do know about Christianity, if there is a hell, this person will be at the front of the fucking line. Hexeth will never, under any circumstances, make it into heaven.
total victory over those who seek to harm them. And amen.
He's also going to secular hell as well. I've already determined that. That's my choice to make. He's going to secular hell.
The Vatican has no military or economic leverage, but the pontiff's influence is often described by analysts as a form of soft power. Some commentators see the Pope's Palm Sunday homily as a forceful rejection to those invoking faith in the name of war, and his words of peace a powerful counterpoint to the political language surrounding the conflict.
We have journalist Seema Gupta joining us from Rome. Seema, the Vatican usually steers clear of such pointed language, especially against individuals. But when the Pope is specifically talking about people's prayers, who is he referencing?
Wait, did he didn't speak about any individual. He just said broadly. And I don't think that's really that abnormal from the modern popes. I'm pretty sure the past like 5 or 6 would have like all said similar things about war. If I remember, like, I don't know everything about it, but I know at least the past few were pretty anti-war. They were also pretty like, you know, anti being brutal to immigrants and stuff too. Like they really took a lot of the good shit from the Bible to heart, to be honest. Like, you know, treating the least among us well, or do unto others as you would have done unto you, all that sort of stuff. They seem to really take that stuff like a little bit more seriously than a lot of like the modern Christians do.
Well, he didn't specifically give any names, but clearly he's talking to all those who are involved in this war. And while his words are somewhat unusual, they were very forceful and strong. And we do know that Pope Leo is very clear in terms of he's careful in the words that he uses, and essentially rejecting the claim that God is used to justify war. But it's not altogether new. If you look back at Pope Francis back in 2022, at the start of the war in Ukraine, he also talked about and spoke out against the distorted use of religion to justify war. And
this has been said by like a bunch of popes, I'm pretty sure. This is really nothing new.
Similar such statements were also made in the past by then Pope John Paul II, as well as Pope Benedict XVI. So this idea and this call for peace are very much stressed by various pontiffs and by Pope Leo as well this time round. And he has ramped up his criticism of the war in Iran, and he has repeatedly made calls for an immediate ceasefire.
Seema, I wonder whether this Pope's American identity matters in this context. You have arguably the most influential political leader in the world, U.S. President Donald Trump, and now one of the world's most important religious leaders also being American as a counterpoint.
Yes, I think it is very significant that you have the first ever North American Pope, a Pope from the US, because of course this can show or become a possible challenge for the US administration when you have an American speaking out very strongly, representing 1.4 billion Catholics around the world and the Catholics in the United States as well.
Well, okay. I'm going to be honest. I think a lot of the Catholics in America have completely abandoned the Pope because the Pope, says some of the good things from the Bible as like gospel, right? Like the Pope has generally been anti-war, and like I said, the Pope has been generally like against the industrial deportation of migrants or whatever, or just like against some of the worst aspects of America, like the immiseration of homeless people or whatever, right? Like there are some things that the Pope has always been kind of like doing, but it doesn't jive well with the modern notion of Christian nationalism in America, where Christianity is literally nothing but a substitution for the state, right? It is like they have essentially replaced Christianity with the state at this point, where they believe only in the state and they believe only in the violence that the state can enact, and that is the only thing that matters. And any Christian gospel, any Bible verses that go against, and I also think it's like very much a white supremacist like version of Christianity or whatever as well, or at least white nativist. And so any Bible verses that go against that like political project, right, are essentially tossed aside as not actually, like, they don't actually count. Like those aren't the parts that matter. Like they get pushed to the back burner. It's only the ones that can be used to justify their white supremacist, goals that are the ones, like those are the only verses that they ever like take and repeat. And that's another one of those reasons why I think that modern Christianity, especially in America, is essentially a blasphemous thing. But